On Facebook or follow on Twitter and Instagram for a chance to win a custom-fitted driver, golf, etc.
You might want to buckle up, baby.
And now get ready for WTF.
You want to prove once for all that I'm better than you? Strap up.
Bring it on, Big Brother 10, man.
Whose take is first? Brought to you by TireOutlet.com. Wholesale prices, premium service.
All right, here we go.
Come on, feel the noise.
Hey.
Did I miss it again?
Hey. Go. Hey. Oh.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, what's the deal? WTF, man.
Yeah. We always encourage the Googans
It's
to
a
weigh
hot
in.
take. It's a hot take forum right now is what we like to call this portion of the program. Welcome back. Monday morning quarterback, divorcemenonly.com. Plenty to choose from today, but the Jaguars have certainly caught our attention with just some of the ambient noise that goes around 90 testosterone-fueled young men.
Yeah, and, hit the text line driven by Duval Ford, 641-1010. We'll pick one lucky texter throughout WTF, and they're going to get – it's a good week to be the champion here on WTF. You're getting a pair of tickets to see Darius Rucker September 30th over at Daly's Place. Hootie's in town.
That's nice.
There's a lot to get into, but it seems like what's going to dominate the conversation, obviously, is the suspensions of Jalen Ramsey and Dante Fowler and the incidents that led to it. But there seemed to be one overarching thought is that ultimately when this all shakes out and in a week, this will be forgotten quickly and not be as big of a deal as maybe some are making it out to be right now.
Well, I think everybody hopes that's the case, and it should go away. But I do think there's some work to do. Look, Jalen Ramsey is Jalen Ramsey. That part is what it is. That will be fine. My biggest issue going forward would be the Fowler and Ngakoue relationship. They're in the same meeting room. And I'm curious if there's, some deeper bad blood between the two.
Well, I'd like to know what it is, right? I mean, that's that $1 million question now is why do these guys dislike each other so much? We've been around and seen the skirmishes and fights. Yesterday, that was there's something more deep-seated there than a practice frustration. I will say this, too. I
just wonder, Jeff, sorry to interrupt, but I just wonder, could it be as simple as Dante Fowler Jr. feeling like, look, I was the third pick overall. If I got the amount of snaps that Ngakoue got, I would have the same numbers and be the same better football player.
Well, no, you wouldn't.
I know.
Yeah.
I agree.
No, I know.
I'm just wondering if that's what is going on in his mind.
Well, that wouldn't surprise. What goes on in that 10-cent head of his, Hick?
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about a guy who last off season was assaulting a 60-year-old man and throwing his groceries in the lake. Who took his? I mean, I don't want to rehash all the things, but I mean, dumb is and dumber with what this cat has done since he came to Jacksonville. Or it could be Ngakoue. Listen, you're one to talk. How's all that money spending? I sure earn it more than you do. I mean, there's plenty of back and forth, arsenal to go there between those two. I would like to touch on the Ramsey thing. I do think it's a big deal. I do think he did very wrong, or the Jaguars wouldn't suspend him for a week. Mm-hmm. And I think that there is a danger here, and I don't want to attach it to it completely, but when you let one guy follow his own set of rules, at some point you're going to have there's going to be a discrepancy. Jalen Ramsey has followed his own rules since becoming a Jaguar. From a year ago when somebody would say something bad about his quarterback, he would like the tweet. That's weak. That's not being a good teammate. That's not I'm sorry. That's unacceptable. Mm-hmm. And if I'm running the Jaguars, I'm like, what are you doing, dude? How about if somebody says something bad about you, we all like the tweet? It's a little thing, but those things add up. Jalen Ramsey doesn't go to OTAs. He sits courtside at the Cavs games. Jalen Ramsey shows up a week late for training camp when everyone else is there. They're not huge oversteps. I'm not saying they're letting him get away with murder, but Jalen's pretty much done what Jalen has wanted, and the heck with anyone else.
But he's been within the rules. You say his own set of rules, but he's been within the rules until yesterday.
Yeah, there's rules, Dan, that are written out, and then there's the common sense rules of how we act and do.
Well, again, I think there's a little bit disrespect. Not a little, a lot of disrespect, and maybe a little bit of growing up he needs to do in dealing with the media.
I mean, I guess I would say this. If we were going to get you big baby. Come on, Jalen. Really, dude?
Mhm.
You're supposed to be one of the biggest, baddest men playing the toughest sport in the world. Cornerback shutting down Odell Beckham and, the best in the world. And you're worried about negative coverage here in Jacksonville? Have you lost your mind?
Yeah.
What negative coverage?
Yeah.
Been negative about who, Jalen?
Yeah.
What in the hell are you talking about, son?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
I think it started with the Ryan O'Halloran beef with Jalen Ramsey.
Well,
and I
that's-
think
that
that's
wa-
where it stemmed from. So in his head, he got it. He was annoyed and frustrated very early on
Okay,
when
what
O'Halloran
was-
kept asking about the knee injury.
Right, but
that's
again,
what started it.
That's fair question.
Absolutely.
That's a beef that Jalen created.
Correct.
Correct.
Ryan did nothing wrong. He's asking him about an injury that
Right.
kept him out of practice.
But I think if
which
ever
you're
since
certainly entitled to.
he's had that beef against the Times Union, and Heilman
Perhaps.
just steps into the Times
Yeah.
Union role
Well, then
and
grow
now
up.
gets saddled
Then
with
grow
that.
up.
Yeah,
Jalen.
and that
Grow
could be
up.
true, but that's misguided.
Again, that goes back to my same thing. You big baby.
Yeah.
Enough already.
Yeah,
Seriously.
yeah. I
I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't act like big man, macho, take up, and then be a big sensitive baby.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's what he's being in this case, and to turn it on these guys in the media, it's just weak, dude. It's just weak, and it's unnecessary. And this is a team with, I'm just going to say this. I don't see this crap happening in New England this time of year every year. I didn't see it in Philly last year. Sure, teams can overcome this. You don't want to make too big a deal. But you'd rather have everyone on the same page than not. You'd rather your best player not be suspended for a week.
You don't want anything to fracture on the inside, and that's what the Jags need to do. But I do think because of the guys that they have in there and the veterans that they have in there, that things will work out here eventually once
Who
everybody
you got in a
calms
fight
down
between
little bit.
Dante Fowler Jr. and Yannick Ngakoue? Should they have gotten a
Who would
loose
win
for-
that?
Yeah,
That'd be a good one.
that's a hard one, isn't it?
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Yeah.
Ngakoue's crazy,
Yeah,
and Fowler's,
nutty.
psycho.
That's what makes her good defensive ends.
like Ngakoue may land a blow or two, and then Fowler might pick up a helmet
Yeah.
and club him.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know
know.
about Dante because everything I've seen with Dante has involved much weaker people. Like getting the two girls together to fight and accosting a 60-year-old man. So I don't know when he's like on a peer level in an argument exactly what goes on. So that one's hard to call. Both guys you wouldn't want to run into if they were in the mood they were in yesterday.
No, but if in front of people, any Jaguar player of that ilk with that kind of cash wants to feel better and take a shot at me,
You'll take it?
I'll take
Yeah.
the hit.
Maybe
and
you should go down
take
and
the money.
Maybe you should go down and go Jalen Ramsey into socking you one.
Yeah.
And you get some of that Tennessee cash.
Oof.
Yeah.
Is it fair to ask that
I'm not trying to goad anyone into it.
Ramsey's ego has gotten big enough to the point that he's not going to play as well this season?
Well, look, small things, like Jeff said, but yeah, I mean, so listen, as long as he performs like he performs, who cares? I get that. But I've seen some instances where he's gotten beat in training camp, and I've seen some instances where they're doing drills and he's just funning around and not, and again, you're Jalen Ramsey, you can do what you want, but the guy at the back of the line there who's trying to make the club certainly isn't doing what he's doing.
Well, that's a good point, too. Like catching the ball nonchalant behind your back.
Yeah.
This is practice, man.
So, it'll be.
It won't matter in the middle of November, most likely.
Uh-huh.
I think the question has to be asked here is if this thing, what do they do with Ngakoue and Fowler? I mean, Fowler's disposable, quite frankly, if you ask me. Between suspensions from the NFL and PEDs and this, that, and the other.
If you're
I'm going to play smoot. Knock yourself out.
If you're another NFL team, you should call the Jaguars like today and see if you can get them for like a 6th round pick.
Fowler for Khalil Mack. Let's work that out today.
That would be fine. I think that would be the move by other NFL teams. The Jags have to weigh how much of a distraction he is. And again, that's where you start to rely on the Campbells and Malik's and A.J. Boyes of the world, Brandon Linders, and talk to them and find out, where he stands with the rest of the club because they need him. They need him. That's 10 sacks last year that would disappear if they got rid of him right now. But you have to. That's a decision that TC, Dave Caldwell, and Doug Marrone would have to make.
Yeah, leadership can only go so far. I mean, those leaders. They couldn't keep them separated. It's not like they kowtowed to
Calais has tried.
Calais didn't listen to him.
Calais has had quick feet. I was impressed with him as a tackle. If the D line thing doesn't
chasing
work
down
out,
your 6-year-old back in the day.
With Yannick was flying around him. I mean, he was. Yeah, it was good.
I had
moves.
one take, and I'll forget it, so I want to mention it now during this segment.
Also, a shout out to the PR guy, Tad Dickman, who was right in the middle of that melee.
Yeah.
I mean, get out of there. Get out of there, Tad. Save yourself.
I have a question for you. Well, more on that story as we move along, and weigh in for yourself on the text line 641-1010. I get it. I just want you to ponder something. Maybe you can answer it on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Should Bills head coach Sean McDermott be placed on administrative leave?
For?
Well, he has a player who's very, very visibly and very publicly been accused of domestic abuse.
Shady McCoy?
Yeah. It's the Monday Morning Quarterback, divorcemenonly.com.
The Drill from the studios at Republic Services. We'll handle it from here.
I know you're out there. I can feel you now. I know that you're afraid. You're afraid of change.